Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have my meditation books with me right here. I also have all of this stuff for this video that I'm going to do next over here for my Peter Does Stuff channel, so go check that out as well. But I thought I would calm down a little bit. I've been out running around, and I went and got my coffee, and then I did a review of crumble cookies today. I think the cookies crumbled all over me because I keep on finding cookie dust on my shirt. So anyway, let's get right into this video. I love Tuesdays. Tuesdays are my home group meeting in my 12-step program. So I'm going tonight with my best friend and my sponsor, and then we usually take another one of our friends home afterwards. And so it's kind of a recovery social night, so to speak, too. I always have fun on Tuesdays. So anyway, let's get real spiritual for Tuesdays and get me all centered and peaceful for the rest of the evening. All right, let's start with A Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel. Daily inspiration, wisdom, and courage. Let's see what she has to say to us today. It is August 17th. Bum, bum, bum. August 17th, you decide. Life is exactly what you make of it. What are you making of your life? Are there changes you'd like to make? If so, what are they? And what steps can you take to move in that direction? Such a fantastic, just kind of, I think, point of thought. Not necessarily a meditation, so to speak, but in thinking about, does your life today look like you wished it did, you know? And I think like a good question to ask is, in a perfect world, what would your life look like today? And then line your life up next to it and ask yourself, are there things that I could be doing to be having the life that I want more? Okay, and I know that there are a lot of difficulties that hold us back. There are physical and mental health issues that hold us back, financial issues that hold us back, but are there small things that we could be doing that would make us happier on a day-to-day basis, you know? And those can be large things and those can be small things sometimes. I think sometimes the smallest things that I've done have been the things that have made me the happiest, you know? For example, having my front porch be completely different this year and having plants out there and all that kind of stuff and getting new chairs really just like made a complete difference for me. It made me want to be like out there a lot more. I mean, I love being on the patio anyway, but it made me want to like go out there more and interact with my neighbors, and I was always out there watering my plants and stuff this summer, so it made me be more part of the world, I think. Whereas in the past years, I hung out more on the back porch than the front porch. And that's just one small thing. It can be anything from that. You know, it can be like cutting out sugar or cutting out caffeine in your diet. Small things like that that will get you closer to the goal that you want to be, you know? There are so many things that we can do. And, you know, I'm somebody that believes that at times you have to take some drastic risks in your life, and you have to make some strong changes. You know, I always tell people, do not quit one job until you have another one. We have to pay the bills, you know, things like that. And I've actually known quite a few people that have just gone into work and been like, you know, I'm out of here. And I think there's a part of me that always, you know, kind of was like, oh, that's like appealing, right? But at the same time, you know, you have to think through while you're in today, thinking about this perfect life that you want to have. You also have to think about like how to pay for the bills, how to continue to put food on the table and take care of your family or yourself or whatever, your pet even, you know? So those are important questions to ask yourself. But I think, you know, we're here for such a limited amount of time. Our lives are not 200 years, you know? And I think that by the time that most of us, in all honesty, figure out, you know, like, wow, like maybe my life doesn't match up to what I wanted it to be, most of us, half of our lives are over at that point. I mean, in all honesty, you know? I mean, I was living, you know, just a fun life and kind of just putting one foot in front of the other in my 20s and in my 30s after I got sober, you know, and having this relationship and having that relationship. And then all of a sudden I'm in my mid-40s and I'm like, whoa, wait a second, you know, what do I want my life to look like? You know, what are the things that I'm going to look back on? And thankfully, and I've talked about this in my vlog, thankfully, I don't have a lot of bucket list things. I just don't. You know, I joked in a video the other day, or maybe a week or two ago, talking about how I had made a bucket list a couple years ago, and my bucket list had a lot of food on it, actually. It was like I had never had Thai food. I had never had, you know, Indian food. I had never had blueberry pancakes or chocolate chip pancakes. And my friend Melissa one day took me to the International House of Pancakes, and she said, we're going to try any kind of pancakes you want to try today, because I never had it. And, you know, even like that small thing kind of changed my life a little bit. I know it sounds crazy, but it allowed me to start stepping out and trying new things. And I have since, you know, all the different foods that I wanted to try, I have tried on there since, you know. And I just think it's like small things like that. You know, you can be an armchair traveler. You can read books that will take you across the world without having to ever go there, you know. And I don't know, the older I've gotten, my world has gotten a little bit smaller, but that isn't to say that there aren't things that I still dream or wish of, you know, or, and I think today, my dreams and my wishes aren't as grand as they were when I was younger, and that's okay, you know. There's a scene, if you've seen the movie Thelma and Louise, which is one of my favorite movies of life, there's a scene when, late at night, they're driving through the Badlands, and Louise is asleep in the passenger seat, and Thelma, who is Gina Davis, she is driving, and she's listening to this song, I think it's by Marianne Faithfull, and the song says something to the effect of, oh shoot, I wish I had the lyrics pulled up, it was about this Lucy so-and-so, and she realized that she would never drive a convertible with the top down in Paris, France. And that she got to the point where she realized that. I think for many of us, there's a point in our lives where we realize these things I dreamed when I was 16, 18, 20, 25 are probably never going to happen in my life. But I also think that there's an acceptance that comes with that, right? Where you're like, and that's okay, because maybe I didn't want those things as badly as I thought I did. But what things do I want today? Because my wishes and my desires and my dreams have changed. There are things that I want today that I didn't want when I was 20. Today it's like, I want to finish a cozy mystery series, you know? Or find new ones that I love. That's not something that I would have cared about when I was 20. You know, 20, my bucket list would have been, I want to go to here, and I want to go there, and I want to travel here, and I want, you know, it would have been like that kind of stuff, which I think travel is still a big one on my list. But now it's more about spending time with people that I love and cherishing the small moments and things like that. If your life does not look like you want it to, and you wake up every single day and you say to yourself, God, I wish my life looked different. I wish my life looked different. What are you waiting for? Like, do something about it, you know? Life is a gift. I really figured that out when I got sober. I mean, life is a gift, and I was really just not, you know, taking good care of the gift that I was handed. And now when I wake up on most days, I say to myself, what am I going to make of this day? You know, what is today going to hold for me? And I get excited about each day, you know? So if you're waking up and you're not feeling that way, ask yourself, what can I do to make my life this better than it is today? What can I do to just add one small thing today, you know? What's one small thing that I can do? You know, have I always wanted to start a garden? Have I wanted to start writing a book? Do I want to write poetry? Do I want to sing? What is it I've always wanted to do, you know? And start entertaining those passions on a small level. It doesn't mean that you have to go out tomorrow and audition for a movie in Hollywood because you want to be a movie star, you know, but maybe you get online and you start ordering the scripts of some of your favorite movies and you just sit in your living room and read them. Most of them you can download for free on Google, you know, and you just sit there and you read the parts of your favorite actress or actor, you know, and, you know, you can just become like an actor in your living room. And then maybe you audition for community theater. Maybe you do audition for a movie in Hollywood and maybe you get the part and maybe you don't. But and what you realize in real life is that it truly is, as cheesy as the saying is, it's the journey, not the destination. It truly, truly, truly is, you know? So many of the things that I have wanted so bad in my life, when I finally got them, there was actually kind of like a sadness that followed it because I had gotten where I wanted to get. And that's why Oprah says, and then you have to dream a bigger dream. Every big thing that I wanted in my life, once I achieved it, it just kind of, it took it away a little bit. It was kind of like, well, okay, now what? You know? And that's why you have to keep on getting excited each and every day. I think it's a fantastic little thought for the day. All right, let's read a meditation from Melody Beatty. Let's see. But like I would say, like I was saying, this is the point that I do want to drive through is, what are you waiting for? to go out there and grab life, you know, and have everything that you want to have in it. You won't know until you try. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beatty. August 17th, let the shifts happen. I listened as a tour guide explained the crack, the huge gaping rupture in the Earth's structure as we traveled along Bryce Canyon. I feel like I read this one last year. My mind traveled back to an earthquake that shook Southern California in January 1994. Earthquakes are reminders that life shifts, moves, changes places. Sometimes the shifts are gradual and begin slowly, like the gaping hole in Bryce Canyon that started with a tiny split. Sometimes, as in the California earthquake, the shift happens in an instant. We don't know in advance about and can't plan for the shift. But there's one thing we can count on. Just as nature shifts and moves into new shapes and forms, so do we. Sometimes our shifts happen suddenly. Other times, they take place over years, beginning almost imperceptibly. As we move into increased self-awareness, we will become more aware of these shifts. We know, see, and feel when they're taking place. We may not know where they're heading, but we'll know something's afoot. The more we value and trust, the more we can count on these shifts to lead us forward and trust the new shape being formed in our lives. The more flexible we become, the more we allow for these shifts and work within them, or work with them instead of against them, the easier they will be. Life is always moving, changing, shifting into its next shape. The movement is natural. It is how we evolve. Let the shifts happen. Take responsibility for yourself each step of the way. Trust the new shape and form of your world. Wow. There's a movie that I love, and I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's Texasville, which is the sequel to The Last Picture Show. And Sybil Shepherd was in the original. And so in the second one, Annie Potts plays the wife of, oh God, why can't I think of his name? He plays Sybil Shepherd's love interest in the first one. But anyway, I don't know why I can't think of who it is. Shoot, I can see him in my head. He has brothers. I don't know why I can't think of him. Anyway, but there's a scene when she's like sitting in the bed and he walks in the room and he says, something's different about you. And she says, I go through like 100 changes a day that you don't even know, you know? And I love that line so much because, you know, it's like, it's so true. It's like a change and evolve in small, just little ways all the time. It's like, you know, my friend Tanya always says to me, my opinion can change like that if I want it to. Like, I can change my opinion from 1 minute to the next, you know, and I think about that sometimes, but my opinion does change from 1 minute to the next. It really, really does, you know? So anyway, yeah, I think that you have to welcome the shifts and the change in life. I think so much of my life I spent resisting that, you know. I felt like I wanted to stay the same person forever because I was afraid of changing and evolving, and today I welcome it. I really do, you know. I want to change and evolve and become a better person today than I was yesterday and tomorrow than I was today. I want that, you know. I want that for all of us. But I definitely, most certainly want it for myself, most importantly, selfishly, you know. Because the more we change and evolve and the more we understand that change and evolve, and changing and evolving, the more we understand that, the more we are able to really truly enjoy the life that we have been given, you know, and appreciate things more, I think, on a deeper level. The things that, you know, just in reading books, for example, you know, I use this example a lot, but it was 20-some years ago, I read the book She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb, and it's a lot about grief. We read it a couple years ago for our book club, that's now a true crime book club, and it had a completely different meaning to me because I had gone through so much loss. Similarly, my favorite book, To Kill a Mockingbird, as well as Catcher in the Rye, I know they're very trite favorites, but they are mine. You know, when I read them today, I have a different feeling about them. To Kill a Mockingbird makes me very sad today. I also associate it with my mother. Catcher in the Rye, to me today, seems, ironically, you know, if you've read the book, Holden Caulfield, who is so clearly calling people out as being phonies, kind of seems like the ultimate phony to me a little bit, you know, and it's kind of sad, and that's more of a booktube video. Maybe I'll make that someday, you know, but I don't know. I still love the books, you know, when I read them, and I still love the stories, but they have different meaning for me today than they did, you know, 20 years ago, and I think that's the changing and the evolving of time. So, anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.